First things first. Oh, we could also -3 with Sarkhan to get down 2 dragons. I like that better. Yes, Sarkhan, you got it. You evil laugh all the way to the bank. What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're taking a look at a super special deck, Rakdos Superfriends deck. And I gotta say, I never thought I'd see the day where I played Rakdos Superfriends. 5-color Superfriends, sure, Bont, sure, we can ramp, maybe even Teamer, right? But I never, ever thought I'd see the day where I was playing Rakdos Superfriends. So first and foremost, before we go and hop into this wacky, crazy, kooky deck idea, I'd like to remind everybody, if you're enjoying the video, please be sure to watch all the way through so that way you can get the pro tips from, you know, how to play the deck or general play instructions and I'm talking in circles, you know what I'm saying though, right? And then watch all the way through to the end, that way you can get the deck tech wrap up where I go through that sideboard list over there and we show you things that can make this deck either more competitive or a little bit more janky, right? So diving into this deck tech, what was the inspiration, how did we arrive here, and how actually does this shit work, right? Liliana Waker of the Dead, not a super great Planeswalker, but I'm like bound and determined to find her a deck, right? We did the Dragon Reanimate combo, and I'm fairly sure that that one was like one of the best decks you could get with this Liliana, and it's still not saying too much. So I was like, you know what, let's take out dragons. Dragons are cool, they're great. But what else can Liliana discard, and then we can reanimate and have that feeling of mwahaha, right? So Liliana Waker of the Dead, we have her in here as just as a 2-off, right? You can, for +1, you can make each player discard a card, and each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Not really, like, making your opponent lose life here is not your goal. What your goal is to hit their hands, right? Make them discard whatever they want to, whatever they choose. And meanwhile, while they're discarding that, you're going to be discarding your Sarkhans, you're going to be discarding your big Lilianas, you're going to be discarding your Chandras, your Ugins, you know, all that good stuff. And then, after you've discarded all these Planeswalkers and your opponent's like, what are you doing, you freaking maniac? You're going to play your Command the Dreadhorde for 6 mana, choose any number of target creatures and or Planeswalkers in graveyard. So, I mean, if your opponent has Planeswalkers, by all means, steal them, right? Just fucking take them. But you're going to be able to take, you know, any number of creatures or Planeswalkers from your graveyard, put it onto the battlefield, and then this card is going to deal damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards, right? So let's say, you know, we had our Liliana down and we've discarded a Sarkhan and a Ugin, right? Pretty simple. Then we go to use Command the Dreadhorde, we pay the 6 mana, we select these 2 cards, and when they re-enter the battlefield, it's going to deal 13 damage to us, right? So 8 from Ugin and 5 from Sarkhan. And you're saying, Chance, that's crazy. You're just talking about reanimating 2 Planeswalkers and it's already dealing 13 damage. How in the hell are you going to fuel this much life gain, right? Or this much life loss, rather. and to that I address it in 2 ways. One, you only have 1 Ugin in the deck, so you're only going to be hitting that big -8, you know, 1 or 2 times. So chill out. And most of the time when you hit Ugin, it'll be worth it, and it's not really a thing where you're like, oh, what am I going to do on 4 life? You're going to put the Ugin down, you're going to -X, and you're going to exile everything your opponent has, right? And then Sarkhan, you get dragons, whatever. So like that's, you don't worry after you get the Ugin down. Now before, how are you going to pay for that life? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. We have 4 copies of Rotting Regisaur, and thanks so much to our very own Macfar for suggesting this card, Shadow Spear, right? 1 mana, it comes down. 2 mana, you get to equip it to a creature. It gets +1/+1, gains trample and lifelink. So obviously you put this on a Rotting Regisaur, which is already a 7/6, and now it goes up to an 8/7 with trample and lifelink. I mean, that's a great way to get you to 28 life and then 36 life and so on and so forth, right? So Rotting Regisaur, 1 swing in off this with a Shadow Spear will pay for a whole Ugin to come back with your Command the Dreadhorde, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about. Now, outside of this main combo of stuff we have, and by the main combo, I mean, you know, Planeswalkers discarding and then Rotting, giving us the health to actually bring those Planeswalkers back, Down here in the lower end, we have 3 copies of Gutter Bones, and I got to thinking about this last night, and the deck has been edited and tweaked since we've been playing it, but y'all know I don't like to just take a deck and be like, no, this is going to work fine, and not ever touch it again. So you'll see some few cards here and there that are a little different. This is your heads up, right? So Gutter Bones, it's pretty good actually, because with Liliana, again, you're discarding your own cards. If you got to discard a Gutter Bones, it's not the end of the world because you can get it right back, and it's a 2/1 damager, so it's a solid body to defend with. Moving us down, we have 3 copies of Kaya's Ghost Form. I had 4 copies. I keep going back and forth on this. I think 3 is perfectly fine, but it is only a common. It is going to be rotating out, so you know, not exactly too big of a worry there. But the cool thing about this card is you can enchant creatures or planeswalkers you control. So when enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, so if your opponent gets down to Ugin and then exiles everything, this won't happen to your planeswalkers because Kaya's Ghost Form. Well, it won't happen to the planeswalkers you have Kaya's Ghost Form on. I should be more specific. Anyways, when they're dying or being put into exile, you're going to return that card to the battlefield under your control. So if you have Command the Dreadhorde, one of your opponent's planeswalkers, and then you Kaya's Ghost Form it, when that card dies, it's still going to come back under your control on the board, which is really exceptional. Like, for this to be a 1-mana common spell, it brings a lot of value. You know, and you can throw this on your Rotting Regisaur, so that way killing your Rotting is that much harder if you don't have any other options. But again, throwing this on something like a Ugin, and then you can literally just -7 and then have it come right back, right? Or Sarkhan, we often get to those times where you're, you know, trying to create your second dragon, but it's going to kill Sarkhan. Throw a Kaya's Ghost Form on it, create a dragon, Sarkhan dies, he comes back, create another dragon, right? Anyways, moving us down, we have 2 copies of Serrated Scorpion, and it's because I keep going back and forth on this and the Gutter Bones and all that. Serrated Scorpion is a great blocker, you know, especially against decks like Mono Red that has the Fervents and all these 1 health, 1 power creatures that just are sort of too fast for a lot of decks. However, whenever this card dies, you're going to deal 2 damage to each opponent, not that big a deal, and you're going to gain 2 life, which is a big deal, right? Because you're trying to stay at least a little healthy, that way you can use Command the Dreadhorde and not actually kill yourself. Moving us along, we have 4 copies of Mire Triton. Again, we're trying to mill cards away. This gains us life. This has Death Touch, so it's a great defender for a planeswalker. It's pretty much everything we want in a creature in this deck, right? Angaros Rampage, love the card. I think maybe going up to a 2/0 isn't that bad of an idea, given the amount of power this card can potentially have, right? Target player sacrifices an artifact, target player sacrifices a creature, target player sacrifices a planeswalker, and you get to choose one of those. Now, the only thing I will say is this is kind of missing target player sacrifices enchantment. That would be nice add-on here, but we'll get into that later, right? Being able to make your opponent sacrifice a planeswalker for only 2 mana, and then being able to bring those planeswalkers back with Command the Dreadhorde is really, really efficient. Moving us along, we have 2 copies of Revenge of Ravens. Again, it's about staying healthy and then, you know, bringing your planeswalkers back. So Revenge of Ravens is a great way to do that. All those aggro matchups where you have the little one power creatures that are just sort of swinging in, being annoying as hell. This is going to heal you up and, you know, make sure you're not hemorrhaging that life from dying to your opponent's creatures or whatever. Anyways, moving us along, we have 2 copies of Ritual Soot and 1 copy of Massacre Girl for some massive board wipe, right? Ritual Soot, I've realized actually is pretty good in the standard right now. A lot of people are playing 3 CMC creatures or less, and you know, that's actually pretty apparent by the number of Claim the Firstborns there are. And honestly, if you had a better way to sacrifice things, I could even say you could throw you Claim the Firstborns in here, given you have Kaya's Ghost Form, and whenever you would sacrifice those creatures that have Kaya's Ghost Form on it, they would come back under your control, right? So, you know, it's kind of cool. Anyways, outside of that in the lower end, we just have all the planeswalkers, right? We have Chandra, Heart of Fire, which is going to allow us to discard our hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way, and I should clarify because I've made this mistake in the past where I explained this card incorrectly. When you go to discard your hand, you exile the top 3 cards. You're only going to get to play those 3 cards. Next turn, if you +1 again and you exile 3 more cards, it's going to be a completely different set of cards, right? I mean, I can't guarantee you that, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to exile 3 more cards, and you're only going to be able to play those 3 cards. So initially, I'd said that you could play, you know, those 3 and then the other 3 and so on and so forth. But I was wrong, and I would like to correct myself, right? I don't want to be teaching y'all any bad habits. And then furthermore, you know, +1 up, deals 2 damage to any target. Kind of nice removal, kind of nice just sending it to the face. And then for -9, you can search your graveyard and library for any number of red instant and or sorcery spells, exile them, then shuffle your library. We're not really going to be using that on Chandra. We're just going to be using the +1 to, you know, discard cards and go looking for Command the Dreadhorde, because it doesn't exile the cards you discard. It only exiles the cards that you can potentially play, right? So you're really only going to want to be doing this when you have enough mana to where if you discard Planeswalkers and then you exile Dreadhorde, right, Command the Dreadhorde, you can actually play it. But yeah, Chandra Heart of Fire, pretty cool. I haven't figured out how to use her ultimate effectively in this deck. But anyway, Sarkhan, you're creating dragons. Those dragons are then able to deal damage to creatures attacking you or Planeswalkers for each number of them, right? So if you have 2 dragons down and they have a creature swing in, each of those dragons will deal 1 damage to that creature. So your opponent will have to have a 3-life creature swinging in, or it's just going to immediately die. So pretty cool. Not to mention the +1 on Sarkhan in a deck like this is actually really, really strong. So until end of turn, each Planeswalker you control becomes a 4/4 red dragon creature and gains flying. Now obviously if you have 3 or 4 Planeswalkers down, you need +1 with Sarkhan. That's 16 points of damage in the air, not to mention if you have any dragons or rottings or literally anything else on the board already, which is insane. So super awesome with Sarkhan there. Liliana Dreadhorde General, I love this card. I love Liliana in general. That was a pun, but it was not intended. The zombies are great, making your opponent sacrifice 2 creatures. Obviously you're hoping that you don't just have your good creatures down if you're doing that. And then the -9 is pretty much game winner, right? Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. So they're going to be left with like 1 land, 1 creature, 1 planeswalker, 1 artifact, and 1 enchantment, which is brutal given how late in the game you'll be playing Liliana, right? You're essentially destroying all their land, which we've seen in the past can make people rage. Anyways, moving us down, we have Chandra Awakened Inferno. A great massive board wipe as well. You know, with the -3, you get to deal 3 damage to each non-elemental creature, and hopefully you have things like Rotting Down that isn't going to die to this, right? So yeah, this spell can't be countered. You can put emblems on your opponent's face that just deal damage every, single turn. And then the -X ability, if you're having problems with a card that you really just need exiled, it's great. It's really great. And of course, we've seen this card so much here recently, but in a Planeswalker Reanimate deck, how could you say no? How could you say no? I don't want to bring back the big old Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, and then exile everything, meanwhile keeping all of my stuff, right? Because that's what you do, right? Generally, your opponent's playing creatures and that sort of stuff. So you look at how many Planeswalkers you have. You know, Liliana's a 6 CMC, Chandra's 6, Sarkhan's 5. So you aim for that like 4 or 5. Or if you absolutely need to, sure, exile them all and hope you got a Kai's Ghost form somewhere. Anyways, all that being said and out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed this deck tech breakdown. And I do apologize that they've been going so long here recently, but I'd rather have the information in them and you have the ability to just skip them than me not provide the information and you be kind of clueless, or you know, the newer players be a little clueless. Anyways, hope you watch all the way through, watch the pro tips, watch the deck tech wrap up. I'll see you at the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy the match. Oh, I love this guy's name, Otto von Bisquick. yes, and as funny as what it may seem like to people outside of the US, Bisquick is not actually, well, you could use it for making quick biscuits, but it's actually used for making quick pancakes. Isn't that ironic, we'll say. But yeah, I love your name, Otto von Bisquick instead of Bismarck, I'm assuming. Otto von, that's not his name, is it? See what I mean? See what I mean? I'm one of those people that went through high school and didn't learn what I should have learned while I was there. I'm not entirely taking full blame for that, by the way. If anyone knows / seen the high school I went to, it's very hard to learn there. Very, very hard. Hateful Eidolon. You know, you're playing a Hateful Lotus deck, and I'm not happy about it. I'm happy with the fact that we already have fucking, you know, Command the Dreadhorde in hand, and we can discard the Chandra and do some wacky shit there. But I'm not happy about the Hateful Eidolons. Not at all. So yeah, maybe we can get down the Chandra's Awakened Inferno before they get into all that glitters and they just start popping off with the Mire's Grasp, right? And just fucking killing everything. Hateful Eidolon. Yeah. Cool bananas, bro. Cool fucking banana. Ooh. Cool fucking bananas. Nice. Thanks. A Shadow Spear on a Rotting Regisaur is the bee's knees. Thank you for that one back, by the way. Bismarck, apparently. Yep, Otto von. Ah, it is Otto von Bismarck. Look at that. Apparently you do retain some knowledge. Hey, you bastard. Really? With the Banishing Light? It doesn't even help your Hateful Eidolons. What are you doing? I'm gonna play this card that doesn't affect any of my cards. Well, okay then. I can't play the Mire Triton, and you know what? I've made worse decisions in my life, okay? I've definitely made worse decisions. Here's the thing though, as long as they don't get any booster on their Hateful Eidolons, we're literally dealing the same damage that they will be dealing back to us, so we're kind of like playing the lottery system. Does our opponent feel ballsy enough to swing back at us? And was that Kaya's Ghost form correctly used on the Mire Triton? Who knows, you know? Who knows? I like to think it was, simply for the fact of them having a Mire's Grasp at some point. Bastion of Remembrance. Okay. Now I'm getting a little irritated because your deck actually makes no sense. Okay? Makes no sense. Again, we can't make them sacrifice an enchantment, as annoying as that is. We could go for another Mire Triton. I think first things first, we're swinging in. If they want to double block, let them double block. If they want a single block, let them single block. We're up to, you know, a decent bit of health. 33. It's not too shabby. And we'll make them sacrifice. Are we gonna make them sacrifice a creature actually? Enchanted creature dies. Okay, so it has to be enchanted. Yeah, we're making them sacrifice. Sacrifice thy creature. Shall they never return to the board? Wahahahahaha. Or something like that. Starfield Mystic. Still not. None of this actually, like, the Starfield Mystic interacts with the rest of their cards, but the 3 copies of Hateful Eidolon have interacted with 0 of their cards so far, and that's what I'm so befuddled by. So completely, entirely. Can I hit some lands? Hey, game. I realize I have 24 in the deck, but I do love it when you only give me 3. Ah, son of a bitch. That one's really on me, huh? Alright, well, Mire Triton, you know what you got to do. Keep on keeping on, right? They're Bastions of Remembrance. They will deal 2, but we're still going to heal 3, and we're getting rid of that annoying-ass little chum blocker they have, so at the end of the day, I'm still happy with it. Dead Dreadhorde is an idea. I got something spicy with Dreadhorde in the future. It's that zombie Embercleave deck. Newsflash. I'll spoil it for you. Alright, so yeah, Revenge of Ravens, that definitely helps us as well. It's much harder for our opponent to get through our creatures, and we might as well swing all in. Even if they crack back at us, even if they let all the damage go through, you know, we're winning this race of life gain and whatnot, so yeah. Yeah, baby. Good stuff. Cool beans. Milling 2 lands. You know, Mire Triton, you little zombie merfolk. Me and you're gonna have to have a these fucking Kaya's Ghost forms. We're gonna have to have a talk about what cards you're milling out, okay? Whose team are you on? Ours or theirs? 'Cause I need you to pick a side and stick to it. This shit ain't gonna work. You milling the stuff I need to make sure they stay in the game a little bit longer. Speaking of staying in the game a little bit longer, our opponent's down to 4 life. I don't know what kind of segue that was, but it's one that happened. Hey, look at you. Look at you using a Kai's Ghost form. Actually gonna get some card draw. That didn't make any sense. That actually doesn't make any sense. Look, more cards we can't actually play with. Yeah, that's why I put 24 lands in my deck, really, so I can not draw, but 4 of them in the top 22 cards. Oh, what a time to be alive. All right, so opponent's gonna draw some cards here. Not a big deal. It's really not. I mean, at the end of the day, we have 38 health with which to do our combo if we can ever get there. We can ever just get there. Now, one unfortunate thing, if we draw into something... Yo, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? You are actually fucking kidding me right now, right? This cocksucker's on 3 health. Alright. Oh, thanks. Thanks, game. Not like I could have had lethal last turn with that land. Oh boy. Oh boy. Fuck. What do I do about a 7/8 with lifelink? What can I do about a 7/8 with fucking lifelink? Nothing, right? Discarding our hand doesn't do shit. Alright, Sarkhan. I'm gonna need you to make some dragon babies. I'm gonna need those dragon babies to fucking smack. Like, actually fucking destroy shit. Alright, hateful. You don't get to be hateful for any longer. I will use Mire Triton to block you. And then we'll use Command the Dreadhorde while we have such high life. Hey, hey. Is that really what you wanted to do there? You put in all that glitters on your hateful Eidolon just to have it, huh? Well, that sounds cool. Now we just have another Planeswalker to get back, right? All the better. What all can we get back? Can I even get back enough for this to fucking matter? Alright, Sarkhan. Chandra. Yeah, we're doing it. Fuck it. That's all I needed to see. 2 Planeswalkers, I'm good. Alright, so these 2 for sure. Do we want the serrated or any of this? Yeah, I mean, we're sitting at like 29 life. We might as well get it all back, right? 6 mana, bring everything back to the board. Fuck yeah. Oh! Really? Game? Really? What'd I tell y'all? This game. Now, if we minus 3 on this Chandra, we're basically wiping our side of the board, leaving them with an Archon and a Hateful. Not exactly where I want to be at.
Come to me.
That's kind of cool, though. Oh, we could also just minus X on Chandra and get rid of their Pegasus, right? That's probably the play we do. All right.
Utterly is the best way to destroy things.
I think we leave this Mire Triton back and we go no attacks. So this is interesting. We're certainly in a weird spot. Okay, that's not too concerning. And we have a dragon to actually deal with these two 2/2s. I really hate the fact that we milled our other 2 Planeswalkers from that Command the Dreadhorde, but you know, what are the possibilities of that? Super low, right? Surely the god, y'all's luck with milling yourselves is not as terrible as mine. Anyone that's been following the channel for a while, y'all should know, like, my milling is, it's atrocious. Honestly, it's atrocious. So they are taking out our Chandra. I'm not upset with that. You know, I can completely understand where you're coming from, wanting to get rid of her. I do have a surprise though, because we have another Chandra. 1 Chandra, 2 Chandra, 3 Chandra, blue Chandra. Speaking of which, wouldn't that... Yes! Yes, Chandra, you have to live, baby girl. You gotta live. You hear me?
To the skies.
Take to the skies. Alright, yeah, so you gotta live, Chandra, because we have a Command the Dreadhorde, and I have so many spicy things lined up, it ain't even funny. They just gave up their Hateful Eidolon. It's a little funky. do want to equip this again. Beautiful. Equip, and we'll just throw it right here on this Drago. Alright. So our opponent basically back up to a full hand. If our Chandra can live, well, that sucks. That certainly blows. But if our Chandra can live, wahahahaha. Oh yeah, she lives. She lives. And we're at 17 health too, so pretty happy all in all. Pretty fucking happy. Rakdos Superfriends. I never thought I'd see the day. Yeah. And we're gonna gain more life back from the dragon. Oh, beautiful. I'm actually having so much fun with this deck. Thank you, Autobahn Bisquick, by the way, for putting up one hell of a match. Love the fact that you're sticking around. Love the fact that we're able to have this interaction, this back and forth. I literally don't even care if I win this game. This is where I want to be at. So, how much mana do we have? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not exactly enough to get there, but that's okay. We'll discard. We'll draw these. Oh, Ugin. Oh, so you don't get access to the rest. That's a little funky. But again, we got a Ugin, so like, what's it fucking matter? We're doing Super Friends either which way. So what do you have? Ones, you have ones, you have threes. Oh, and you got a 6 over there. Well, I don't want to hit a 6, but I will hit a 3. How about that? How about a 3? Thanks. Thanks for the rotting deck. You don't know how much that actually means to me. And then sure. Let's get in here for some damage. Cool beans. Cool freaking beans, man. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, Wizards, you should reword the way this card is wrote. Until end of turn, you may play cards exiled this turn. This way. Right? I really don't like that because Wizards is so specific with all their cards. Like, this is exactly how it is. And then you're going to do this where it's like, discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way, leading you to believe that you may play cards exiled this way from previous turns as well. So, I think that needs to be edited, like, in all actuality. That's actually a huge oversight, too. Like, gigantic. Man, that lowers Chandra's value so much. I don't appreciate. Nah, we'll be fine. We just throw the Shadow Spear here. We still have an Ugin, right? I could still just. Could I -0 and it hit these on Ugin? Can I -0? I mean, obviously I can +2, but I mean, I guess that's a question for later because Autobahn Bisquick, they surrendered. That's okay. This is okay. All right, we actually have a turn 1 play. Nice. Thanks. Hello, random sir or madam that wanted to compliment me off the bat. Hey, 3 mana. Ooh, no chance. 3 mana off the bat, though. That allows us to get to our Rotting Regisaur, which allows us to discard our Sarkhan and, you know, hopefully get to that Planeswalker Reanimate life that we've been talking about. So we're not throwing Kai's Ghost form on a little Scorpion. It's just not happening. Argument could be made that we should keep our Scorpion back to defend, but given that it looks like Jun's sacrifice, I think we'll be all right. Really now, huh? And there's the Command the Dreadhorde. We're going to be up to 4 mana on our next turn, so that is very interesting. Given, you know, we have the Rotting, we can discard the Sarkhan. We can get there this game, I feel like. Maybe. Ooh, it's Death Touch. It's good old Death Touch. Ran through, you cocksucker. You literally just fucked my whole plan. 1 card, 2 mana. Just stuck your dick in my deck. That's not okay, Gandalf. I don't appreciate it, personally. I would prefer if you would stop it. Alright, come on. 4 cards in hand, 5 mana on board. There's limited possibilities. Vraska coming down. Probably going to be killing our Serrated Scorpion. But honestly, not that bad. Like, -3 on your Planeswalker to take 2 damage and heal me too. Okay. That's what you want to do. Now, at least we're not taking the damage from the Hooded Blight thing as we normally would, if that makes sense. So, this does put us up to 5, which is a Sarkhan. But given what they're playing, I don't want to play down a Planeswalker without having the ability to immediately Kaya's Ghost form, right? So, we'll just get down another Revenge of Ravens and make our opponent's life completely hell.
Sacrifices must be made.
You're not sacrificing anything, Vraska. Shut up. Hooded Blight thing again. Hey, quit it. Gandalf, don't you see my strategy is working completely opposite of your strategy? Right? I don't appreciate. You're basically going back and nullifying everything I'm doing. You bastard. You actual bastard. So we could get back the Serrated and the Rotting, but let's be real. I want my Sarkhan down.
I fight with a dragon's rage.
Yeah, you do, Sarkhan. Yeah, you do. Boom. Sarkhan with a Kaya's Ghost form. Now, unfortunately, our dragon doesn't really kill the Leyline or Hooded or any of that stuff. You know what would be interesting now that I'm thinking about it? I don't think they have any 3 CMC or less creatures, but if you could give Death Touch to one of your dragons and then have Sarkhan down, like, that's just instant gib on all your opponent's creatures, right? So they literally can't attack in with this 1/1, so long as we have the dragon. They don't have enough for Ram through, do they? They do. They do. Well, I gotta say, that's dirty, Gandalf. You constantly having the mana for the stuff you want. It's dirty. They could -3 on Vraska and take out Kaya's Ghost form. It's an argument to be made for that as well, I suppose. Just gonna kill our dragon, though. That's a little curious.
We couldn't have been allies.
That's a little bit curious. Are they going for the face again? Please stop going to face. Goodness gracious. Alright, so unfortunately we're not actually gaining all this life that we're gaining because, yeah, they're Hooded Blight things. It's a weird little interaction we have going on here, but
Nobody appreciates my handiwork.
I also don't think that without without an actual card here, I don't think we're gonna be able to live. So we can plus Sarkhan up and turn him into a dragon. Cool beans, whatever. I can cast Command, get back 3, 4, 8. We're down to 4. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Give me that one. Give me that one and that one. Get rid of that. And now our Revenge of Ravens can actually heal us. Ha ha ha. Boop. Good game.
Back to the shadows. For now.
Don't you dare throw down another Hooded Blight thing. Don't you dare. We will say good game, though, because it has been a very fun game. Sorta. It's been interesting, in the very least. But and this is a personal pet peeve, I don't really care much for people that early good game. Like, here's the thing, okay? We're on the internet. You can't tell what someone's expression behind that is, right? You don't know if they're like, oh, damn, good game. Or if they're like, hey, you know, good game. This has been a good game so far. I like to think it's the latter of the two, so, you know, I like to assume everybody's nice and cheerful and having a good day. I'm usually wrong. That's alright, though. Arena matchup. Loving it. I've only seen your YouTube content so far, and the departure from family friendly is appreciated. Yeah, I'm not super family friendly, however you say that, on YouTube. I try to be a bit more cautious with the words that come out in the beginning of my YouTube videos, and it's because YouTube does this monetization and all that based off the first few seconds of your video. They just don't want somebody coming in and being like, you know, fuck, shit, you know, all that in the first like 10 minutes of your video. It just doesn't look good for them, which I can understand that 10,000%. So cool little thing we could do here. We could turn all of our planeswalkers into dragons, swing in minus or sacrifice our Sarkhan. Sarkhan will come back. Then we can get down a dragon as well. We could also just sacrifice our serrated scorpion, but I don't think I want to do that. And we're probably going to make them sacrifice a creature here. So first things first. Oh, we could also -3 with Sarkhan and get down 2 dragons. I like that better. Yes, Sarkhan, you got it. You evil laugh all the way to the bank. I am gonna sacrifice my serrated scorpion here. We're gonna get down Mire Triton. Another Gutter Bones, cool beans. We could return both those Gutter Bones. Again, I'd rather hit them with the Ongrath's Rampage. Okay, so make sure none of those were. Well, I guess they wouldn't be any of that anyways. I was gonna say enchantments, but this card doesn't hit enchantments, so it's whatever. And then Gutter Bones, come on back to my hand, would you please? Although we're gonna have to discard you, so I'm sorry, Gutter Bones. That was kind of wasteful. We can swing in with our Rotting. Do I want to though? I mean, even if it only kills one of the 1/1s, it's good, yeah? Have we cast a command yet? We have. We cast one to get us back into this position. I don't think I'm going to swing in with Rotting. They can't swing in, really, because we have 2 dragons dealing 2 damage to all their creatures, plus Revenge of Ravens giving us 2 health per creature swung in from the opponent, so... you know, they could do some, like, ram through stuff on my dragons and, like, take those out, but... There's a few steps to them being able to get to my planeswalkers and all that good stuff. And I could -3 on this Vraska again and take out their Hooded Blightfang, and then they're kind of left without anything except for swinging into a Revenge of Ravens, which isn't fantastic for them, right? Kind of digging the deck, gotta say. I'm always nice when it's you. Yeah, another Hooded Blightfang. Oh man, Gandalf, you're giving me anxiety, bro. Pisses me off. So I've got emotes turned off. Oh yeah, I can see that. Say people who swear are more honest. I can 10,000% see that. Because like you just innately off the bat, you can't trust people that don't swear, right?
Come on. Listen to them roar.
Obviously they're holding back something just off the bat. This is so ridiculous. Alright, so they do have indestructible on all of their creatures, which means we're basically just blocking to make sure we don't die here. Alright? So sure, Rotting, get in there, you get in there, then we'll only take 2 points of damage. Yeah. Cool beans. We're still not dead. Still in it. Still in it. Kaya's ghost form. So if I put that on Vraska, I can -3, kill a Hooded Blightfang, get her right back. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Okay, wanted to make sure that it was under my control and not under owner's control. We've all been in that shitty situation. But if I'm going to do that, shouldn't I plus up with Sarkhan, swing in with her first, and then minus? I'm thinking the answer is yes.
I will call the dragons.
And we'll probably need you to defend. Sarkhan can get in though, so that'll be a good 8 damage. And then we throw this here. And then we minus and take out your Hooded Blightfang. We probably should have taken out the bigger one, but you know. Oh, it's because it's still a creature. It's because you can remove the loyalty. Well, that's embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, when she goes back, though, yeah, I was about to say at the end of the turn. Well, oh no!
Wherever I go,
That is such a weird interaction, but it's nice to know how it works now, right? And they're just cycling a land. All right, no ram through, no ram through. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can't activate it. Can you? Leylon, does this have black mana? Oh, Savi. No. just tap your castle. It'll auto tap it for you. There you go. They still can't use a ram through though, even if they drew into it, so that's good. And at most, we'll have to chum block into the Hooded Blightfang, but even still, well, yeah, it can destroy a Planeswalker, so that's bad. But we'll kill these two, so they can't. So yeah, literally, we just have to chum block this one, in which case we'll be fine because Revenge of Ravens is healing us up so much. Yeah, take a good look at the deck. You're gonna need to when you go back and tell all your friends that your opponent took your Vraska and beat you to death with her. Yeah, you can't. You just can't afford it. I will say this is one thing I've learned about Magic the longer I've played it, and it's kind of interesting the way it works. I feel like the newer you are, the harder you look for plays, right? So the newer into Magic you are, the harder you're like, I can do this, or I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, right? To the point where it's like kind of annoying, where your opponent's like, no, you can't. Like, you only have limited options. This is all you can do, and there's nothing else, right? Oh, that's dirty. I mean, it's beautiful. So beautiful. Let's see, 4. Let's get rid of that real quick, actually. And then, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We could probably etch out a victory somewhere here, but we came here to play some fucking Planeswalkers, didn't we? Behold! Get in there. Even if they trade out with just their Death Touchers, like, we have 3 dragons lined up to murder them, so. Anyways, what I was saying, so newer players look harder for the plays, even the plays that aren't there, which is annoying, again. But then you have the older players that are like, no, these are definitely all the plays. And there's sort of a sweet spot in the middle, right? Because the older players, obviously, they miss some plays, but being like, no, this is it. This is the only plays. And obviously, the newer players miss... Okay, cool beans. And obviously, the newer players miss plays by... or just not knowing them, right? Yeah. I mean, I'll trade a dragon for your questing beast. And that's how you kill yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you kill yourself without any trade-off. Cool beans, Gandalf, taking them downtown. This is the same hand? Just trade out Massacre Girl for the other one. Alright, I'm not doing it again. Cyan Mint. Fuck, there's no escaping it. Alright, at least we have the Mire Triton. Fuck. Double red, not exactly what we want to see, but you know, maybe we'll hit something good here. Revenge of Ravens and a Kai's Ghost form. Not exactly what we want to be tossing, but that's okay. Opponent's looking like a good old mono red thus far. Underworld Raychound, hey, how you doing? Not gonna lie, don't really love the fact that we have double red instead of double black, but you know. Let's get in for some awesome damage, shall we? And by awesome damage, I mean 2. When we go to discard with our Rotting, we're going to discard the big old Liliana and hope for a swamp. That way we can get down Liliana Waker of the Dead. Act of treason, you slut. They didn't even do anything to follow it up. They're just like, oh, I took your big dinosaur. Ah, okay. I suppose you did. Yes, very well. I don't know that I want to, you know, -3 quite yet. I think we'll just plus you up, Liliana. All we have is a silly little ghost form that's going to get discarded by the Rotting Regisaur anyway, so yeah. And what's the worst that could happen? They act of treason me again. Alright, well, we're going to swing it with the Rotting, and we'll keep the Mire Triton back to defend this time. Liliana, you just stay alive, can you? Is it all possible? Don't you hit me with another act of treason. Sandman will have some problems. What is your deck, bruh? It's very strange. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's just strange, you know. So we can't exactly block the Fervent, but we can kill the Underworld Ragehound. And to that, I say awesome. Awesome sauce. Ritual is going to kill our creature, but it's also going to kill all their creatures. So we could Ritual and then +1 on the Liliana. Sounds good to me. Ritual. And they can get the Underworld Rage Hound back, but we're making them discard the only card they have in hand, which was an NX. Hey, looky there. Hopefully my mute button still works. Mostly going off good faith here, but you know. And Underworld Rage Hound is coming back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got a little 4-2 on our hands. We might get Liliana up big enough to actually do some good stuff here. So what are they discarding? 7 dwarves? I'm happy about it. We'll just keep their hands low, and Underworld Rage Hound has to attack, of course, so we'll block with the Mire Triton. And yeah, Liliana, we're about to get her ulti. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Oh, and an Elder Spell. Well, that's mostly for getting our Liliana up, you know, either Liliana, but it's not something I'm going to turn away. So we want to take their Underworld Rage Hound, right? So they can't get it back. Yeah, beautiful. B-E-A, beautiful. How's it feel, Mono Red? To have the very creatures... Whoops. To have the very creatures that swore to protect you fighting against you. For me personally, it feels amazing. So are we taking their Annex this time? Because that sounds kind of spicy. Right? Oh, we can do it from our graveyard too. So we can get back a Rotting and give it haste. Would I rather have a Rotting or a... Yeah? Is that how you feel? I can understand that though. Ronan, gonna be our next foe for the day. Well, we got a lot of the big... Alright, I'll take that. I was gonna say, but we're gonna need some land, and well, ba-boom, land. Alright, so let's try to get down this Rotting, if at all possible. It looks like our opponent's more than likely playing Azorius Flyers. Yeah. Yep, and that is a little unfortunate. We're not exactly poised? It's one of those two words. We're not exactly in a great position, is what I'm saying, to deal with Azorius Flyers. So we're gonna have to hope for a little bit of a miracle here. Now there's a jet going over my house. What is going on? You live in the middle of nowhere. You don't expect there to be jets flying over. It's just not something you in the middle of America, like we shouldn't necessarily have this. Alright, so I can shock this in and get down a Liliana and kill like their Watcher of Spheres, whatever the fuck it is. Or I get down Revenge of Ravens. I like the idea of Revenge of Ravens because it essentially reduces the damage of all these 2 damage flyers to, well, 1 damage, as well as the Fairy Miscreant pretty much can't swing in now. So we'll get in with Rotting, maybe. You know, they may block with Fairy Miscreant. They may just swap. They may swing back with Rally of Wings or something. If they go for the block, though, we know they don't have Rally, which makes me really happy. Ronan, what are you gonna do? Do you block? You block. Beautiful. Happy about that one. Less creatures on their side of the board means better for me. Now, getting down this Command the Dreadhorde is gonna be a little difficult because, well, we're getting low on life. Do do do. Boom, 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 boom. So again, looking for Massacre Girl, looking for a land for the Massacre Girl. Ritual Soot would be really beautiful. All you gotta do is hit Resolve, Ronan. It's not a difficult concept. Boom, 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 boom. No, not exactly what we needed. That's fine. We'll get down Liliana, maybe avert their attention elsewhere. Right? How many cards do we have over here? We have 2. Well, this is a bit risky, but sure, fuck it. It's much better than +1ing and having to discard something. We need to get rid of that Watcher of the Spheres. It's dealing insane damage to us. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a form of getting rid of it, right? Yo. Do y'all hear this shit going on outside my house? If we could please stop with the jets flying over North Georgia for absolutely zero reason. Okay, thanks. Ah! Good game. That was exciting and riveting. Azorius Flyers. This weird deck I've never seen before. I've got to say it's pretty cool. Anam, or Anam, I guess. We may need a little bit more early game interaction, honestly, or maybe we've just not been drawing it. Given the number of Planeswalkers we actually have in the deck and the number of times we've drawn those Planeswalkers, the probability is not very high on that, which means for the next several games, we should be drawing like fucking golden, right? Just based off probabilities. Now, obviously, you have some days in Magic where you're going to draw shit all day. Like, you're actually going to have shitty draws all day. If you play enough Magic, it will happen. I will promise you that. I'll bet you my left testicle. You'll have a day where you get shit on all day. You can play a top tier deck, you know? That's just something that happens. So we're going to hope that we're now on the upswing, you know, with our luck, with the game, with life in general, actually. It's really what we're hoping for. Am I going for Revenge of Ravens or maybe a simple Kaya's Ghost form? Okay. Oh, well. No fun to be had here. No siree. Alright, I'll tell you what. Liliana is going to come on down and actually discard our other Liliana.
Day, my minions.
This is basically to hopefully draw the aggro off the Zertal Goblin onto our Liliana. Maybe she can live with one loyalty. If so, then we can just slap a Kaya's Ghost form on her, right? And she can live past that. Now, they may not fall for it. They may just go ahead and take the Zertal and swing it towards our face, in which case, that's okay. There's not much we can do about it, you know? They may just attack our Liliana and shock it. You know, and they're the kind of player that plays that shock. Ooh, Ritual Soot's really good. Probably better than the Kaya's Ghost form, right? Kaya's Ghost form will immediately take aggro off of the Liliana but if they have a haste creature, then we just lose her. Yeah, we got to do what we got to do, okay? To do what we got to do. We only have 2 creatures over there. We're going to plus up, discard Cry because we don't really need Cry, given we have Ritual, and obviously there's Zertal is already above a Cry's potential. So they may throw something down like a questing beast here. No, Runaway Steamkin. I don't understand your deck at all, Anim. I don't get it. Are you going to swing in and kill the Liliana Waker of the Dead, or do you just leave her alone? You leave her alone? You trust in your board state. Interesting. Very interesting. Another Revenge of Ravens. I'm going to leave that on top because we go wham bam, right? Boom. And those satyrs will kill my Liliana, but she gets to come back. If I +1 and discard, we're losing this Revenge of Ravens, but we're getting another one next turn. I think that's fine, because we're making them get rid of whatever they might have here. And if it's an Embercleave, sign me up. It wasn't. It was a Return to Nature. Well, that's actually really good, because they would have destroyed the Kaya's Ghost form, which would have allowed them to kill my Liliana. Not quite sure I understand that one, but that's okay. They're dealing 7 next turn, kinda. And look at us, getting in for that 3 damage with Liliana. The best +1 ability in the entire game of Magic. Fight me if you don't believe me. I gotta stop streaming after our work. I come home and I'm way too goofy. Is that really what you want to do? Like, did you think about what my side of the board says? Because you only dealt 1 damage. Good game. Yeah, good game. I will have to say so.
Doing things my way.
We are doing things my way. I'm trying my heart out to do things my way. Hey, another Planeswalker over there in the graveyard. All the better for if we ever hit that Command the Dreadhorde. Are you gonna make the same mistake, swing in? No, hey, look at that. Our opponent has learned. They've learned. It's not something an opponent often does. And they're gonna scoop it out. Well, that's good. You had a strange deck, bro. Breaks. Anyways, Chris is gonna be our next foe for the day, and I'm gonna try to keep on this mute button. That way you don't have to hear the shenanigans. I'm not gonna lie, I want to keep this hand, but it's a little greedy. We're gonna keep it because, yeah, I'm a greedy person. Let's be real and let's be honest, all right? I like playing the spicy plays, okay? Ugin. Oh man. I'm like doubling down on our strategy here, okay? That's why I'm keeping the Ugin. I'm gonna play the Rotting on turn 3, hope and pray to God it stays. And then we're gonna discard the Ugin, we're gonna discard the Chandra. So basically I'm keeping the Ugin for more discard fodder. You know, that I actually don't mind discarding, right? So we shall see. Chris, what do you got for me? I know one of these times I'm gonna mess up and not unmute myself, so trying to keep an eye out for that. I was away from keyboard. Did you say anything about the deck? Yeah, if you want to send it, by all means, Mac. You know I love trying out your decks. And was it last week? This week? I don't know. Last time that I tried out your deck, I was already not in a great mood. It was killer hot in the office, and I just got my ass beat like several games in a row. So, you know, I do have a whole list of like viewer submitted decks I need to get around to. Why are you saving 2 mana, Chris? What you being sketchy about over there, huh? I don't really much appreciate sketch, if I'm being honest with you. We're up to 4 mana. We're hoping to get to 6 for that command. Next turn we'll discard the Chandra Heart of Fire. If we can hit 5, then we can at least take out some of their creatures, you know, with our Massacre Girl. Good old Massacre Girl. Now, they may block with the cat here, given they have the food token to bring it right back. But, you know, if they're using their ramp tool to bring back their cat, I'm not too sad about that. Yeah, so that's what they're doing here, then. Nah, that's not bad. I don't appreciate you playing a top-tier meta deck, though, Chris. I gotta say, we're over here in Jank City, right? And you're just like stomping through with your meta, with your golden geese, whatever they're called. I know it's gilded, but shut up. This is between me and Chris, okay? So yeah, on our next turn we'll discard Chandra Heart of Fire. If it hit another land, it won't be the end of the world because we can get down Massacre Girl and actually kill her Mayhem Devil, which would be beautiful. Bum, 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 bum. Well, that really blows, ladies and gentlemen. That really blows. I think we do go ahead and just Castle Locthwain here. Chunk my life. Ritual of Soot. Well, that's a little bit of a yikes. It's a little bit of a yikes. I'm not going to swing in. Well, yes. No. Yes? If I swing in, they definitely block with Cauldron and then sack the food, which means they get to kill the Mire. No, I'm not swinging in. I've made my decision. We do still need a land. I'm probably going to discard the Liliana. Again, this whole deck is about discarding these Planeswalkers and then bringing them back with Command the Dreadhorde. Now, of course, we're still going to need life in order to do that, so hopefully we can maintain at least a little bit. Ugin alone costs us half our life as is right now. So if we were to get back some Planeswalkers at the current time being, we'd probably go Ugin, maybe Chandra Heart of Fire. Hey, casualties. Boy, I love that card. We're gonna go ahead and call this one a GG. I don't really feel like fucking with whatever weird Jund deck this is. Alrighty, you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Watching an hour of my goofy ass is an accomplishment and something that deserves to be acknowledged for sure. If you did enjoy the content, by the way, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section, and of course subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content. And don't forget to hit that bell icon out beside the subscribe button when it pops up so you can get notifications. Anyways, oh yeah, and then if you're looking to catch us play this live, twitch.tv/DrSpilk, and if you're looking for a Discord, down in the description of every video, there's generally links to the Discord, which, by the way, if you're looking for an answer to a question you might have, I highly suggest checking the description. I try to put information in there that aids in describing the video. Anyways, On into this sideboard, the deck tech wrap up. What do I recommend you playing here? What are some good answers? What's some ways to make the combo go off a little bit easier? First and foremost, we have Kitesail Freebooter. If you're looking to make this more of a reality and not so luck based, right? Something like Kitesail, where you can take away your opponent's board wipes, or you can take away their thought erasures or their planeswalker removal. It's pretty good for a 1/2. It's not exactly a strong creature, but again, your strength in this deck doesn't necessarily come from your creatures outside of Rotting Regisaur, right? It comes from the planeswalkers. So get down Kitesail and hold off your opponent on stealing away your planeswalkers or destroying your rotting, right? And the real nice thing is it's only an uncommon. So next up, we have Fire Prophecy. Again, great removal, 3 damage to target creature, and you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library if you do draw a card. This is excellent for like looting through your deck to find that Command the Dreadhorde, or to find that Liliana Waker of the Dead, or to find that Rotting, that Shadow Spear, that Kaya's Ghost Form, whatever you may need, right? You're getting to remove a creature, you're getting to loot a little bit of your cards to look for exactly what you want. 2 mana, only a common, instant speed. Sign me up, right? Scorching Dragonfire, similar card, except you don't get to loot, but you can hit planeswalkers and it exiles. So not everyone's going to be playing Kai's Ghost Form like us, right? So generally exiling your opponent's stuff is fantastic. Not to mention this can hit creatures or planeswalkers. It's really, really versatile in the amount of stuff it can hit. So 2 mana, instant speed. Again, it's a common. Sign me up for this removal. It's pretty good. Next up, we have Stormfist Crusader. If you're having a little bit of trouble getting through your deck, finding the cards you want, it's a 2 mana 2/2 with Menace that reads at the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card and loses 1 life. And you're saying, Chance, well, you're drawing your opponent cards as well. And I say, yeah, that's true, but you have the board wipes. You have the means of dealing with their built-up board state, right? You have the Ritual Set, you have the Masker Girl, you have the Ugin, you have the Chandra, you have the Liliana. You see what I mean? You got things to deal with whatever they're going to be playing. Whereas they may not have the answer for what you're playing here. And I say may because, some opponents just come ready for everything. Anyways, moving us down, we have Elspeth's Nightmare, which is kind of like a Kitesail Freebooter to a degree. I almost want to argue that it's a little bit better. So the first step of this enchantment saga is you're going to destroy target creature with that an opponent controls with power 2 or less. So, maybe they got down on a Johnny's Pride Mate and haven't gained life yet, or maybe they have a Daxos down, or whatever. You're going to play this, destroy target creature. Step 2, they're going to reveal their hand. You're going to choose a non-creature, non-land, and they're going to have to discard it. So instead of it going behind the Kitesail Freebooter, it's going to go into their graveyard. And then step 3, you're going to exile target opponent's graveyard completely. So if they have any Uteros, any cats, anything over there in that graveyard, you're exiling it. And again, this is all for 3 mana. It's only an uncommon. Oh, and it's rotation proof. So, it's like everything that everyone's asking for and so much more. Moving us down, we have Grim Tutor. This is a deck that you definitely need the cards you need, if that makes sense, right? Like, when you want that Command the Dreadhorde, you want that Command the Dreadhorde, which is why I say Grim Tutor may be the answer for you. I'm not saying throw it in here as a 4 of, but maybe just as a 1/2 off, as a pseudo extra copy of Command the Dreadhorde, right? I only have 4. I only have 4. I only have 3 copies of Command the Dreadhorde. I'm not going to recommend anybody go out and spend your rare wild cards on this deck or your mythic wild cards on this deck. It's a very expensive deck, okay? So my recommendation, play this how you can. Use the planeswalkers you can. If you have Command the Dreadhorde, use it, But Grim Tutor is here to act as another copy of that Command the Dreadhorde. And if you don't care about wild cards, you're just rolling in dough and wild cards galore, then yeah, pick it up. Let me know how it goes. Moving us down, we have Murderous Rider. This and Bone Crusher Giant are kind of lumped into the same category in the fact that they're creatures that also allow you to remove stuff and, well, be a body on the battlefield, because that's kind of what this deck needs. Given the amount of planeswalkers we have in the top end that we're sort of just trying to surprise party onto the battlefield, right? You're going to need something in that lower end to really deal with the opponent, and not to mention the fact that Murderous Rider has lifelink, which again is going to keep you healthy for the Command the Dreadhorde or Grim Tutor or whatever you're paying life for, right? Next up, we have Faraka's Libation, which kind of goes along with the Angras Rampage. We kept seeing again and again and again people playing enchantments last night. So, you know, if you don't want to spend an uncommon on Angras Rampage, which is a card that will be rotating out, I think Faraka's Libation is perfectly fine. It's a common, 1, so it's a little bit cheaper. It's instant speed, and 3, it's not rotating. It's not going anywhere. So, all in all, pretty safe bet, right? Now, it is 1 extra mana. At least it doesn't have the mana split cost, right? Like, the Angras Rampage is black and red. This is just 2 of any color and then a single monochromatic black cost. So, it's cheaper in a lot of ways. Time Merit Calls the Dead. This is another great way to mill yourself while giving yourself an early board state, right? And the part 3 is just kind of nice, where you get to gain life and scry and all that good stuff. Which obviously you're not going to have a ton of zombies down, but if you look over here, you have 4 copies of Mire Triton, zombie. You have 4 copies of Rotting Regisaur, zombie. You have Liliana Dreadhorde General, which can make zombies. So, you know, there are more zombies than just what this card gives you, which means you could be gaining like like 4 life, you know, realistically, or 3 life. You could be gaining something like that. Sorry, I was trying to do the math on how, you know, how realistic that is. Any Hoosers, it's a great card. It is a rare card, but it's not rotating, which is one of the nicest things about it. Speaking of not rotating, Bone Crusher Giant, again, not rotating. It's kind of along the lines of Murder Shredder in the fact that it acts as some removal and is also a creature with solid stats, right? So 3 mana for this big old 4/3 that also causes your opponents 2 points of damage anytime they target it with a spell. That's pretty good. Key little note though, it also costs you 2 points of life anytime you target it with a spell, so be careful. And then we have Cavalier of Night. I don't recommend at all that you go pick this card up because it is going to be rotating soon. It is a mythic, and it is one of those cards that I mostly have in here for my own sake, right? Cavalier of Night has lifelink. Whenever it enters battlefield, you're going to be able to sacrifice a creature and then destroy target creature an opponent controls. Furthermore, whenever Cavalier of Night dies, you're going to return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you can return your Rotting Regisaur from your graveyard to the battlefield after this thing dies, which is probably going to be a little bit hard for your opponent to like remove a Cavalier and then turn around and also remove a Rotting Regisaur, right? So that's gonna do it for the deck tech wrap up. This is a super fun deck. I gotta say, I didn't think I was gonna be winning nearly as much as what I did, and I honestly didn't think I was gonna be having as much fun as what I did. This was a blast, honestly. So thanks everybody for watching. Again, I appreciate the support so much. You are absolutely amazing. But without further ado, I'm gonna hop out of here. Hope you all having a great day, great afternoon, great night, whatever time it may be, wherever you are. As always, I'll see you either later tonight or tomorrow. Peace.